Hey guys, welcome back to Frogs and Oddities. Today I'm upgrading my Amazon milk tree frogs enclosure from a mini tall Exoterra to a small tall Pro Rep enclosure, which is a 60 by 45 by 45. After washing my hands thoroughly, I am now putting on my unpowdered, unscented gloves. This will help keep things completely sanitary for both me and the frogs. And the first step, as always, is sanitising the whole enclosure. For this, I'm using a distilled white vinegar and water mix. We're making sure to sanitise all surfaces inside and out. We must ensure to clean thoroughly so no chemicals remain on the glass. I am also cleaning the lid. To take the lid off the Pro Rep enclosure, you pull up the lever and swipe it to the side. You do this on all four corners, then the lid will lift straight off. Pretty simple. And this is it, all clean. I am now taking the door off just so it doesn't get in the way for the build, which I think is such a cool feature. For the substrate, I'm using a cocoa fibre brick and I'm just reusing an old substrate bag to soak it in. These bricks take about 10 minutes to fully soak. I used about half of the brick, then realised I needed more, so I used about 75% of it in the end. I am just fluffing it up and getting any lumps out, then spreading it across the bottom. I am keeping the terrain even so it is easier for the build. Now we need to add our cleanup crew. Firstly, I'm adding in springtails, then tropical grey woodlice. These little guys will help keep the place clean by eating the frog's poop, fungi and bacteria, which prevents mould outbreaks. I am just mixing them in very well to ensure they cover all areas on the floor. I'm pulling forward some substrate to make room for the background I'm going to be putting in. Then I'm spraying the glass so it holds. I am using this beautiful Better Terra Boston Fern twin garden mat, which measures 40 by 60, the perfect fit for this size terrarium. Next, I'm putting in this plant that I actually got from IKEA's plant section. It did come with a plant pot, but I yanked it off because I didn't want it in there. I put this in the corner to give the background a more 3D effect and so they can sit on it. I put this piece of wood by the side of the glass. It is the perfect size and shape to go there. I made it more stable by using the soil to plant it in better, and as you can see I tapped on it lightly to mimic a frog jumping on it to make sure it's safe. This is my favourite part of every of my enclosures, the wooden bridge. My white tree frogs absolutely love it and my baby milk tree frogs love it too in their current temporary enclosure. To make this bridge, I connected 3 flexi sticks bridges. If you'd like a more in-depth tutorial on this, then let me know. Now I'm just adding pieces of corkwood to build up the enclosure a bit more. And I'm adding this cool leaf suction to the glass. I like to add the water dish early on so I can build around it to make sure it is fully accessible for daily water changes. I'm putting this large leaf plant on this side of the enclosure to add some coverage on the bridge and the first piece of wood that I put down, as these are the places where they're most likely to sleep during the day. I am using this smaller one for the other side of the glass. You can never have too much greenery. I added a couple of pieces of wood and attached this coconut hide. Milk frogs love hiding in things like wood with holes. To attach it, I pulled the rope through the lid and put the lid back down, then taped the excess to make it neater. For the moss, I am using this forest moss that has to be soaked just like the cocoa brick. I am soaking it in the old springtails tub. This only takes about 5 minutes. And I'm adding some leaf litter. Both of these components help to maintain humidity, and since this is an artificial setup, it makes it more natural for them. So I am just sprinkling it everywhere and all over the wood on the floor. And this is what it's looking like. A very important component we need to add is the thermometer. I am using the Exoterra analog thermometer. Now it's time for the door to go back on. For this enclosure, I am using the Arcadia Pro T5 with 5% UVB light and the Pro Rep cloth heat mat, which is connected to the microclimate thermostat. Now I'm giving the enclosure a very good deep spray to get the humidity up before I add the little babies. I am just adding a dash of dechlorinated water in case they want it. I also use this ZooMed reptile fogger to keep the humidity up. And now it's time to put my frogs into their new enclosure. I have 2 milk tree frogs, one called Bubbles and one called Puddle. And to be honest, I'm still figuring out who is who. I swear they're identical twins. Now, this second frog, as you can see, absolutely did not want to get off of me, which is so cute. Reggie, my white tree frog, loves hand cuddles and he is the same whenever I pick him up. Maybe this little guy will grow to be the same. Eventually, I had to give him a little boost. And there he goes. I had to add this frog dish last since one of them was still sleeping in it in their other enclosure. And here is the build all completed. I hope you found this video helpful in any way and inspires your next build. In my next video I will be upgrading my white tree frogs enclosure, so stay tuned for that.